Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit is presented by Bell Tire.
Tonight from St. Petersburg, the Tigers' 7-game road trip continues on a warm, humid evening here in Florida. It's Game 2 in the series featuring the Detroit Tigers and the Tampa Bay Rays. Hi again, everyone, and welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba, Ron Allen, glad to have you with us here for Game 2 in the series. The Tigers, well, it took a little while last night, Rod, to get the win, but a much-needed win in Game 1. Hopefully they can build on that again here tonight in Game 2.
Oh, no doubt about that. Very tough road trip for the Tigers. They start here in Tampa, then they go to Minnesota. Outstanding win last night. As you mentioned, it took a long time, but they'll stay here all night if they can get a victory.
All right, J.D. Martinez came up big with a home run late in that ballgame, and we're seeing now that J.D. is one of those guys that you can count on late in games.
You know, J.D. Martinez has had an outstanding year. He started in AAA. He had 10 home runs down there before he forced his way onto the big league roster here. You look at it, 11 of his 17 home runs have come 7th inning or later, and 8 of the 17 have come 8th inning or later. J.D. Martinez, he knows he's going to get pitches late in games to hit because opposing teams, they're going to pitch around Miguel. They're going to pitch around Victor Martinez. And there's J.D. Martinez. He's been sitting there waiting for the opposition, and he's come up big for the Tigers. He's hit some monumental home runs very late for them since coming up from the minors.
All right, now if the Tigers are going to do anything the last month of the season, Ian Kinsler is going to have to pick up the pace. He was really good in the first half. The second half has been slow for him, but maybe last night was a good sign.
You know, I don't see any reason why Ian Kinsler cannot do that. He spent 8 years in the big leagues with Texas before coming to the Tigers. He's made all-star teams. He's played in the World Series. He knows what's at stake. Since July 4th, last 40 games, 237 batting average, 556 OPS. You see the numbers before July 4th. He was simply outstanding, as well as making an all-star team. So I think Ian Kinsler will be just fine. I think he's going to get it done the remainder of the way for his team at second base.
All right, how about the pitching matchup tonight? Really good matchup. Rick Porcello goes for the Tigers. Good-looking rookie and Jake Odorizzi for the Tampa Bay Rays.
You know, a couple of guys that get it done in different ways. Odorizzi, he will throw a lot of high fastballs at about 92 miles an hour. He also learned a split changeup from tomorrow's starter, Alex Cobb, which has evolved into a really nice pitch for him. He also has a curveball and a slider. Doesn't throw the slider very much. Porcello, you know how he works. He works at the bottom of the strike zone. He gets lots of ground balls. It's going to be very important for the infielders to make sure they position themselves correctly on this artificial surface because the balls will get to them a lot faster than on natural grass. Very important for the infielders to be in the right position.
All right, should be some fun tonight. After a short break, we'll send you back to the Call Sam Studios. Check in with Matt Shepard coming up. Don't ever count them out. The Tigers have 33 comfort behind wins tonight. We'll see if they can do it in 9 innings tonight. Tigers Rays, Game 2 next.
It's really the only way to describe it. It's just a laid-back atmosphere. It's fun. It's a fun place to be.
Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank, a part of Detroit and the community since 1849. By Jeep, hurry in and get a great deal during the Jeep Summer Clearance Event. And by Lean Cuisine and Stouffer's Entrees, freshly made, simply frozen. Some of the sights of last night's Game 1 victory for the Tigers. It took bonus baseball last night, but they finally won that game, and so the Tigers now will go for 2 straight. Here at Tropicana Field tonight, the Tigers starting lineup is presented by the Southeast Michigan Ford Dealers, and it looks like this. It'll be Ian Kinsler leading it off. His last 7 road games have been awfully good. He's followed by Torrey Hunter in right, then Miguel Cabrera. Victor Martinez, your DH. J.D. Martinez out at left. Castellanos at third. It's Avila, Romine, and Davis rounding it out. They are facing tonight the right-handed offerings of Jake Odorizzi.
And the scouting report on Odorizzi is he throws a lot of fastballs up in the strike zone. The Tigers know that. They saw a pitcher just a couple of days ago, Young of the Seattle Mariners, also lives at the top of the strike zone. Odorizzi has a little bit more on his fastball, though. He's about 92 miles an hour. Let's take a look at the starting defense of the Tampa Bay Rays, brought to you by Tim Hortons. Left to right, they've got Joyce, Jennings, and Kiermaier. Third to first, they've got Longoria, Escobar, Zobrist, and Loney. Longoria has played a lot of innings this year, second most in the majors, behind McGee.
They've been able to keep Evan Longoria healthy this year, and certainly it's always going to be a key for the Rays. And we'll see what transpires here tonight in Game 2. We are set for baseball as Ian Kinsler stands in for the Tigers. It'll be Kinsler, Hunter, and Cabrera in the first inning facing Jake Odorizzi. Ian in the ballgame last night, 2 out of 5, and his batting average coming in tonight, 283. First pitch of the ballgame slides inside, 1 ball and no strikes. Odorizzi is out of Highland, Illinois, goes 6'2", 185. The 1-0 is right at the knees, a strike called. Just one in a stable of the good, talented young pitchers that has come through Tampa the last few years. Odorizzi brings it back home and is fouled back out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Odorizzi has the 92-mile-per-hour fastball. He also has a curveball, which is a pretty good pitch for him. He throws a slider, but he does not throw that very often. But he learned to split changeup from tomorrow's starter, Alex Cobb, which has turned into a very nice pitch for him. I think that was it right there.
Only 24 years of age, in search of his 10th win of the season here tonight.
Here's that split changeup that he's now featuring. A lot of tumbling action on that pitch.
I don't know how Kinsler got a piece of it. He's waiting on a 1-2, and here it comes. Ian swings and misses. He struck him out. That's how we'll start this one here tonight. That'll bring up Torrey Hunter. Hunter in the ballgame last night, 1 out of 5, and batting a solid 270. He did knock in a run, had a 2-base hit. For the second straight game, Brad Ausmus has him batting in the 2 slot in the lineup. And a fastball is in there, inside part of the plate, 0-1. Torrey batting 2 to give the Tigers a little bit of punch at the top of that lineup, but he was doing extremely well in the 6th spot in the lineup this year. He was hitting 300 in that position, lower in the lineup. 1 ball and 1 strike. Bouncing ball foul, third base side.
Take one more look at the fastball Odorizzi struck out Kinsler with. Look at where he hides the baseball right behind the leg right there. And then all of a sudden it comes out of that white uniform, and hitters do not get a really good look at this 92-mile-per-hour fastball. It appears that he's throwing about 95 with all the strikeouts and swings and misses that he gets.
He's gotten ahead of Torrey Hunter now. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Odorizzi was acquired with Will Myers in the James Shields deal, which also sent Wade Davis the other way. It was a big deal. And he missed outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Waiting on deck is Miguel Cabrera. Just underway tonight from Tropicana Field. Here's the 2-2. Another foul back to the screen by Torrey. Hunter last night was able to drive in a run with a fielder's choice ground ball. He also walked in that big 11th inning in which the Tigers won the ball game. And again the 2-2. He laid off that time high and outside. 3-2. Full count pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him on strikes. Good breaking ball there to take care of Torrey Hunter. Second strikeout of the ball game now for Odorizzi. Here are our predictions for tonight's Fox Sports Detroit Tigers Player of the Game, presented by the new triple cheeseburger for just $2 at McDonald's. I've got the starting pitcher tonight, Porcello.
I like the way that Castellanos can climb the ladder and hit that elevated fastball that Odorizzi will feature here this evening, so I've taken Nick.
And John Keating going with J.D. Martinez tonight. Here's Cabrera as he pops the first one up, foul. This will tail back into the seats, 0-1. Miggy last night was walked twice intentionally. He finished the ball game 1 for 4 with an RBI. Swing and a miss.
We're going to see that a lot today. Very uncharacteristic that a guy that only throws 90 miles an hour can get as many swings and misses as Odorizzi does. Usually guys that throw 89 to 91, they pitch to a lot of contact.
Here's the 0-2. That'll bounce in. Well, this is also the first time the Tigers have faced Odorizzi. There's only one Tiger on their current roster that has seen him, and that is backup Ezekiel Carrera. That's it. Nobody else has any at-bats against the young right-hander. 1-2 on Cabrera. And that one sails high and away. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Cabrera continues to lead the American League in doubles with a total of 40. 2-2 is fouled away. Tigers check in tonight 67 and 56. And they still trail by 2 in the Central, although the wild card is in their favor right now. Brad Ausmus excited to see the Tigers get that victory last night, especially after falling behind 4-0. And Miggy sends another one back into the seats. 2-2, the count stays on Miguel Cabrera. Miggy taking his time getting back in the box. And a ground ball back up the middle, hit slowly. It's going to go to the center field area before it's backhanded by Zobrist. No chance as Cabrera beats it out with a 2-out single.
Little lack of communication there between Zobrist and also the shortstop Yunel Escobar. I don't know if they get Miggy anyway, but take a look at how Yunel Escobar, he peels off. Zobrist also peels off. There's no communication whatsoever. Neither guy basically wanted to take that ground ball.
So it's a 2-out single for Cabrera. That'll bring up Victor Martinez. One of those nights last night for Martinez. He finished 0 for 5 in the ball game. He did have an RBI, batting .322 on the season.
Yeah, their leadoff hitter. Yeah, Jennings also had a rough evening. He was 0 for 6, wasn't he?
He was. And a strike called on Victor. Last time this year that Martinez went 0 for 5, you got to go back to July 31st. A little bit of the shift on against the left-handed batting Martinez. Zobrist very deep at second. 1 ball, 1 strike.
It's one of the things that I've noticed about Joe Madden, and really for the last couple of years, whereas most of baseball has really just started to shift like this. This is something that Madden's been doing for a couple of years, and he pretty much shifts on all 9 batters.
Yeah, there's no doubt he's been ahead of the curve. He's done things differently here, and well, the rest of the league now starting to catch up. That'll bounce in, and the count goes 2-1.
And they're driving that pitch count up already here, Odorizzi. He's already thrown 23 here in the first, so they're making him work. It's Jim Hickey. He's the pitching coach here, and a really good one.
Boys, he had a lot of good young pitchers come through here, and we've talked about what he has done with relievers, but starters as well. Odorizzi, one of his latest pupils.
And they've really hadn't had to deal with a lot of injuries here in Tampa.
Bouncing ball, fair ball, out of the reach of a diving Loney. Cabrera coming to third base. It's dug up in the corner by Kiermaier. They're going to try and score him. Here comes a throw to the plate, and Cabrera is saved. Victor Martinez doubles him in. 1-0 Detroit. Dave Clark waving him all the way.
It's a 25th double for Victor Martinez this year on a split changeup that got past a diving Loney. Once it got down in the right field, it started hugging that wall. Kiermaier, the right fielder, who's a good right fielder, got over there. He didn't play it correctly. The ball got past him, and that allowed Miguel to come home. It's a great shot of Dave Clark. He was all the way down the line, about halfway to home plate, which meant he got a really good look at the action that was going on down in the right field corner.
J.D. Martinez, the batter, and Cabrera came up a little bit lame as he slid into home plate. Kevin Rand taking a look at him now to make sure he's all right, and Miggy just trying to catch his breath. Scoring from first on a double by Victor Martinez, an early 1-0 lead for Detroit. No balls, 1 strike on J.D. Martinez. He's hit safely in his last 5. And it's in for a strike. Dave Clark, very aggressive third base coach.
And very animated, too. He gets into it.
He was about halfway down the line, waving in Miguel Cabrera. Here's the 0-2. Ball high. It seems, Rod, like the only time third base coaches get noticed is when somebody's thrown out at the plate.
That's right.
But there's somewhat of an art form to coaching third base. So many things you have to keep in mind.
He's reminding him of everything. He's basically telling him on the swing. There's 2 outs. There's 2 strikes. Make sure you get a good jump.
Outfielder's arms come into play. The playing surface comes into play. Odorizzi ready with a 1-2. High and away, 2 balls, 2 strikes, and his pitch count is really high now for the first inning. J.D. homered in the ballgame last night, 2 out of 5. Odorizzi started with a bang. He struck out the first 2 batters, but nothing but trouble since. And this will be his 29th pitch of this inning. Fly ball right field, hit well. Kiermaier going back to the track in front of the wall to make the catch. That'll be it for the Tigers. They get a couple of hits and a run. They'll go to the bottom of the first. Threat for the Tigers. Martinez doubled him in, and the Tigers have a 1-0 lead. The starting lineup for the Rays looks like this, presented by the Metro Detroit Chevy dealers. Jennings, Zobrist, and Joyce. Top three hitters. Longoria's at third base. James Loney at first. Will Myers off the disabled list of DH today, and Escobar, Casali, and Kiermaier, your bottom three. Rick Porcello tonight, presented by Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical.
Rick Porcello's last start, he was really fighting his command. He could not get the ball down against the Seattle Mariners, therefore took his 8th loss of the year. He's 113, looking for win number 14 here tonight.
And Porcello will face Jennings, Zobrist, and Joyce here in the first inning for the Rays. Jennings, as previously mentioned, was 0 for 6 in last night's extra inning game, and that brought his 6-game hitting streak to an end. And he looks at a ball inside to start things off here in the bottom of the first. .241 batting average for the Rays leadoff man. He's got 10 home runs, a little bit of power in that bat. Here's the 1-0. Porcello missing low, 2-0. Rick start number 24. Looking for win number 14. Here's the 2-0 pitch. That's right at the knees, a strike. I mentioned Jennings has 10 home runs. 8 of those, though, have been hit on the road this year. Here's the 2-1 pitch. It'll pop up to second base that is easily fielded by Kinsler. One gone.
Let's take a look at the Tigers starting defense. It's presented by Beaumont Health System. Left to right, you've got J.D. Martinez, Davis, and T. Hunter in the outfield. Third to first, Castellanos, Romine with his second consecutive start. Kinsler at second, Miggy over at first. Alex Avila, 3 pass balls, tied for second fewest in the major leagues with a minimum of 90 games. So Avila really gets down and blocks everything in the dirt.
And he can throw some people out as well. He's at about 35% this year. Here's Ben Zobrist. Left-handed batter looks at one right down the middle of the plate, 0-1.
And good night last night for Zobrist. He was on base 5 times with a combination of hits and walks.
3 for 11 career against Porcello. All 3 of those hits are singles. The 0-1 pitch. It'll dive low. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Already here this evening, Porcello having no issues getting that 2-seam fastball down at the bottom of the zone.
Here's the 1-1. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Zobrist. Porcello has pitched some really good baseball on the road this year. 8-4 record, but his ERA is 2.66 away from Comerica Park. Pitching under the dome here in St. Petersburg tonight. Avila sets up outside, and it's laced toward left field. That is going to drop. Fair ball, go to the corner. Zobrist on his way to second, and he'll pull in with a 1-out double.
This is just an outstanding job of hitting by Zobrist, who I told you was on base 5 times last night. Look at the location of this 2-seam fastball. It's tailing down and away, basically getting ready to hit the glove of Avila. So he hit a spot, but Zobrist was right on top of it, slicing that ball down in the left field corner for a stand-up double.
And that is something Zobrist has done a lot in his career. He's the franchise leader in doubles. He's got his 28th for this season. Number 3 hitter now, Matt Joyce, batting .278. 1 career home run against Rick. Strike called on Joyce. Hitless in last night's ball game. He was 0 for 4. He does lead the team, though, in on-base percentage. He's been their best this year. Missed it high, and the count goes 1-1. Joyce, a former Tiger, was traded for Edwin Jackson, who spent just 1 year in Detroit, went to an all-star game. Here's the 1-1. Instead, he'll bluff back to second.
That year that Edwin Jackson spent in a Tigers uniform, pretty much the best year he's had in his career thus far.
Yeah, no doubt. Tigers got a good year out of Jackson. He gave up Joyce, who has been a pretty good player here over the past couple of years for the Rays.
Edwin had a lot of talent, too. 95, 96 with his fastball. Good breaking balls, too, but really hasn't pitched well since leaving Detroit.
Meanwhile, it's 2-1 now on Joyce. 1 out, 2 base hit by Zobrist. Here's the 2-1. Swing and a miss. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Good changeup there thrown by Porcello in a fastball count. No doubt Joyce looking for that two-seam fastball at the bottom of the zone. You can see the grip in Porcello's glove and comes off the fingertips very nicely.
Longoria waiting on deck. Bouncing ball, first base side. Cabrera has it there. Joyce is out 3 unassisted. Advance Zobrist to third. 2 gone now. Here's the Bernstein advantage. It belongs to Rick Porcello in this matchup. Porcello career against Longoria. Well, Evan is 2 for 11 against him. 3 strikeouts. They'll try and get Longoria here with 2 outs and the tying run at third. Last night knocked in a run, scored a couple. He was 1 for 3. Rick with the windup now with the runner at third, and Longoria looks at a strike 0-1. Longoria last night also walked 3 times. Bouncing ball left side. Castellanos plays the hop, and the double is stranded, so nothing comes of a 2-base hit by Zobrist. We'll go to the second.
Tigers, this is the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, and I nominate Evan Longoria. Wow. How's it feel? Cold. That's for ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. That hurt.
Go big or go home, I suppose, for David Price. My goodness.
He bailed on his former teammates, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. David Price taking part in the Ice Bucket Challenge as they search for a cure for ALS. So David did his part today in a big way. Nick Castellanos leading it off now as we go to the second. Castellanos, Avila, and Romine facing Odorizzi as we play here in the top of the second. And the first one is a breaking ball that loops in inside 1-0. David, by the way, is going to join us. Going to throw a headset on. We'll talk to him in the bottom of the third inning tonight for Tropicana Field.
He's got to feel strange for David standing on that top step in the Tigers dugout and not on that first base side and the Rays side.
Well, he's had a day, I guess, to kind of digest what has gone on and since coming back to this ballpark, but it still has to feel very strange for him.
And they absolutely love him here. Everybody that I've talked to, the people that operate the elevators, everyone has said, please tell David Price hello. That's when you know you're doing something. When the people in the elevators say something nice about you, people that don't normally see you in the clubhouses and different things like that, that's when you're a special individual.
It's one of the great things about baseball, too, all the relationships that you cultivate over the years with everyone in the ballpark. And David Price, well respected, well liked. And on top of that, it's pretty good. 2 balls, 1 strike on Nick Castellanos. Tigers got a run in the first. Castellanos hits one to third. Nice play there by Longoria. Spinning and throwing him out. 1 away. Well, here's what it was like yesterday for David Price. His first day back, he was able to throw on the side, but then when he had to really get down and get to work after all of the greetings he had to meet the media, and boy, there was a big throng. The local media here, I don't know, had him for about 15 minutes or so in the Tigers dugout. It took a while.
He talked to a lot of different people. Talked to John Keating as well. Did a one-on-one with him.
Here is Alex Avila. Alex in the ball game last night was 0 for 2. And he looks at a strike, 0-1. They claim to pull the second baseman Zobrist way back to the outfield turf. I keep calling it grass, but it's not. Here's the 0-1. Bouncing in, 1 ball, 1 strike. Odorizzi has thrown a couple of those now that are not even 70 miles an hour.
Got to take one look at that play that Longoria, the third baseman, just made on the ground ball thrown by Odorizzi. A nice diving play, going to his feet, getting up quickly, and then throwing across the diamond. When healthy, he is one of your better third basemen in the American League.
Here's the 1-1 swing and a miss. That's I think part of the game for Longoria that sometimes might get a bit overlooked because of what he's done with his bat.
Played a lot of shortstop growing up in high school and also a little bit in college, so he's got shortstop feet playing over at third base, which really helps you get to a lot of balls.
Strike called, and Avila is caught looking, 2 gone. Third strikeout for Odorizzi.
This new split changeup that he was taught by tomorrow's starter Alex Cobb has become a weapon. And for Odorizzi, Avila couldn't pull the string on it.
Great pitch right there. Two up, 2 down. Odorizzi looking for a much quicker second inning. Gets a wave and a miss from Andrew Romine. Nice night last night for Andrew. Had a couple of hits. Scored a run, stole a base. Very productive. Out there again tonight. He rips that one foul.
Also flawless at the shortstop position. It's a nice play down there too. Backhand by the ball boy.
Yeah. 0-2. Romine thought about it, laid off. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And he got him, strike 3. So Odorizzi has that easy 1, 2, 3 second 4 punch outs. still trying to shake off the effects of a poor start his last time out, and Rick talks about what went wrong.
My timing was really far off. My arm was lagging behind a lot from my lower body, which caused me to leave the ball up on almost every pitch I threw. So it was from the get-go. It just wasn't. I wasn't my normal self and didn't make the proper adjustments.
And hopefully those adjustments will be made here tonight. Did give up a bloop double in the first inning, but no damage. And he will face James Loney here in the second. He lines one back out of play, 0-1. Here are the numbers on his last start, and he gave up 10 hits and 5 earned runs.
Didn't walk anybody, but that's pretty much Porcello every time he goes out there. He might walk one. Very seldom does he walk two in a game.
Loney sends this one on the ground to second base, where it's scooped up by Kinsler. One gone. It's already 3 ground ball outs for Porcello. Good sign. Will Myers is back in the lineup for the Rays. He is just off the disabled list and was activated today. Last year's Rookie of the Year in the American League. Myers has played just 53 games this season. It's his first since May the 30th. And he takes a strike. Last year led all rookies with 53 RBIs in winning the Rookie of the Year award. Bouncing ball to third, right behind the bag, Castellanos. His throw is on the money, 2 gone.
Here's that injury on May 30th. It's Will Myers and it's Jennings, the center fielder. Fractured right wrist. Jennings didn't miss any time.
So the Rays have missed his bat. And he's back in the lineup with a ground out tonight, 0 for 1. 2 away here in the second. Here is Yunel Escobar. That is in there for a strike, 0-1.
Porcello already nearly first pitch strikes on every single batter he has seen. So the adjustment that he was talking about that he didn't make against Seattle, he has made it here tonight against against Tampa so far.
0-2 on Yunel Escobar. The 5 runs he allowed in his last start, the most that he allowed in his previous 7 starts. There's the 0-2. Low, 1 ball, 2 strikes on Escobar. Escobar himself was on the DL this year with a shoulder problem. And the 1-2. Bouncing ball again, this time to Kinsler. And it's going to be an easy 1-2-3 inning for Rick Porcello. 3 ground ball outs. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire. 1-0. We check in with John Keating, who has some encouraging news on Justin Verlander.
And very iffy about who was going to be able to pitch on Saturday in that doubleheader in Minneapolis. But Justin Verlander had a great day today, playing long toss on the day after he picked up a baseball for the first time. He's penciled in, and barring an unforeseen circumstance, Brad Ausmus confirms the JV will start one of those games. Buck Farmer will be called up from Toledo, where he has made one start, which didn't go so well. He'll start the other game against the Twins on Saturday. And Justin is right next to us here in the camera well at Tropicana Field, guys.
Amazing that he's not throwing seeds at you right now.
He just borrowed a piece of furniture so he can good and comfortable, and just wanted to eavesdrop to make sure we were saying his name correctly.
That does not surprise me. Thanks very much, Keats.
That's good news, though.
It's great news. And fortunately, Verlander did not have to go on the disabled list. Rajai Davis leads it off and hits one high in the air to center. It's playable, though, for Desmond Jennings. And Davis is out, one gone. So Buck Farmer comes up, and he'll start one of the games on Saturday. Verlander will get the other one. And Brad said today that he typically leaves it up to the veteran to see which game they want to pitch. And I would assume Verlander would want the night game, but we'll see. Day-night doubleheader in Minneapolis.
Keaton was right next to him. We should have asked him.
Should have threw the mic down there. Here is Kinsler. And Ian looks at a ball inside. Well, after the RBI double by Victor Martinez in the first, Odorizzi has settled down now. He's retired 5 straight. Swing and a miss. It was an uncomfortable looking at bat in the first inning for Kinsler, who struck out to start the ball game.
He grips that split change every single pitch, and he simply changes the grip if he's going to throw something different. But every time he goes in the glove, he's got that split change grip. Now, you'll see a lot of guys that throw split fingered fastballs do this, because when they do reach into the glove, a lot of times hitters will know when they're reaching in there for that type of pitch.
Odorizzi already has 4 strikeouts. Driven toward right field. That'll be playable for Kiermaier, and there are 2 gone. Well, it is time now for you to tweet your photo using hashtag #DetroitFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast brought to you by AT&T. Hey, Tigers fans, lots of them here.
All geared up.
Color coordinated. Torrey showing bunt, jabbed at it, and could not put the breaking ball down.
Torrey looking for that fastball. Fastball a lot easier to bunt. Odorizzi threw him a curveball, and therefore they kind of threw off the timing of Torrey Hunter as he attempted to bunt for a single down toward third base.
Hunter struck out his first time up. Ground ball to third, right at Longoria. Odorizzi has an easy 1-2-3 third inning. When we go to the bottom of the third, we'll put the headsets on David Price and chat with the newest Tigers. That's coming up. 1-0 Detroit. As we go to the bottom of the third at Tropicana Field here in St. Pete. Pleasure to welcome in now David Price, the newest Detroit Tiger. And David, talk about what these last 24 hours have been like for you coming back, I guess, home for you. It's been kind of wild, hasn't it?
It has been a little wild. It's been good to get to see all my old teammates. So it's been fun. I've enjoyed it.
Casale leading it off, and he lines one right to third at Castellanos.
David, how in the world are you going to be able to keep your emotions in check tomorrow when you take the hill in the afternoon game against your former team?
I just got to try and treat it like every other game. You know, it's always definitely tough pitching against, you know, friends and former teammates, but I've got to be able to get over that. You know, we have a common goal here with the Tigers, and that's to get into the postseason. And, you know, we're in second place right now behind the Royals, so we just need to continue to play the ball we've played the past couple of days, and I need to be able to do my part tomorrow.
David, when you come over from a team, and obviously you're going to be highly counted on by the Tigers, and all of a sudden your first start is at Yankee Stadium for the Detroit Tigers. Talk about what that pressure is like when you come to a team that's in a pennant race and you're expected to, I guess, continue what you've done your entire career. There's got to be a lot of pressure.
Absolutely. But, I mean, I expect a lot from myself, so I know if I come, you know, relatively close to what I expect from myself, I feel like everybody else will be satisfied with what I'm doing. So I just want to continue to throw the ball the way that I have, continue to put in work, and most importantly, have fun.
David, how's the adjustment gone with you and Alex Avila, the catcher? I know when you are a veteran pitcher, you've made all-star teams, you've won a Cy Young. You've got to pretty much know what you want to do when you go out there every single night. But how is the relationship going so far with you and him?
It's going good, and it's continuing to get better. You know, time in and time out that we get out there. So it's I expect it to continue to get better, and that's what we've done so far. And you know, I think it'll continue to happen that way.
Bang, bang play out there at first base as Porcello covered, and Joe Madden is going to come out now, and we will see if the Tampa Bay Rays want to challenge this play. Out was called on the field.
David, while Joe is walking out there, talk about him for a moment and just how it was playing for a manager that just seems so different than most other managers and some of the things that he does.
He definitely keeps things light. He keeps things loose. You know, his one rule that he has whenever everybody gets to spring training is run hard to first base, and that obviously doesn't pertain to pitchers. So he lets us, you know, be grown-ups, be men. He wants us to police the locker room, police the dugout, and he just expects us to come and play hard and do our job. And it was awesome playing for Joe. You know, he definitely kept it light, had a lot of fun things going on in the locker room, and I guess on the plane flights, whenever we would do the funny dress-up stuff, you know, it kind of brought us closer together, and I think everybody, you know, we bought into it.
A replay showing that Kiermaier was just out by half a step at first base as Jennings stands in, and he'll loop one foul back out of play. Well, David, what's it like when you're traded? And nobody thinks about the stuff you have to do as just a human being. In fact, you know, finding a place to live. You're without your dog, Astro. Has he joined you yet, by the way?
He's been here in Tampa, so whenever we got here on Sunday, that was the first time I had seen him in 2.5 or 3 weeks. So he will be coming back to Detroit this weekend, and I think he's looking forward to it.
Well, I'm sure he'll make a lot of friends. Don't worry about that. 0-2 the count.
All right, enough baseball stuff. Have you played some golf with some of your teammates yet, and how's that gone?
It's gone good. Wally Joyner he can strike that golf ball. He shot a 73 today out at Palmacia, so that's pretty impressive. Played with Brian Holiday, I guess yesterday out to Vinoy. He hits the ball a mile. He's got a good swing, so I'm looking forward to getting to play with quite a few other guys.
Here's the 0-2 to Desmond Jennings, and it missed inside. David, I'm curious, what was your thought on your first start at Comerica Park with the packed house the other night? It's obviously the first time you wore the home whites at Comerica. What was that like for you?
It was awesome. You know, whenever you have that amount of people, you know, backing you out there on that field, it feels good. It definitely can propel you later on in the game whenever you might be a little bit tired, but they can give you that extra little adrenaline boost, and that's always appreciated.
7 strikeouts in that game for David. He gave up just 3 hits through 110 pitches, and it appears that someone's going to be messing with you here in a minute. Right? 2 balls, 2 strikes. Jennings sends a ground ball to second, and it looks like we're going to get out of this inning just in time. Hey, David, welcome to Detroit. We appreciate it. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
David Price, about to be messed with. asked David Price what it was going to be like for him tomorrow, channeling his emotions. He will get the start against his former teammates.
He did a lot of positive things while wearing the Tampa uniform. 2012, he was the American League Cy Young Award winner, 4-time All-Star, and what a pitcher.
And tomorrow's game will be the final game of this series. It'll be a good pitching matchup. David Price will face the Tampa Bay Rays tomorrow against Alex Cobb. We'll be on the air at noon with Tigers Live. Here come the Tigers now as we move on to the 4th inning. Miguel Cabrera leads it off. And Cabrera looks at a ball high and away, 1-0. Odorizzi gave up a 2-out single to Miggy back in the first, and then Martinez doubled down the right field line, and that made it 1-0, and that's where we stand. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Bouncing ball to third, deep behind the bag, and bobbled off the glove of Longoria. So Cabrera is safe at first base. E5.
Looked like he got his glove right in the front of his face, and therefore he did not see that ball going into the glove, and it hit right off the tip of the glove. It's a great shot there, great camera work. Glove went right up and blocked his view of fielding that ground ball. I think he was kind of fooled by the hop as well.
And so the Tigers get the leadoff man on. Odorizzi had retired 7 consecutive batters before that.
Longoria doesn't miss a whole lot down at that hot corner.
Now we'll see if the Tigers can take advantage. Victor Martinez doubled in a run in the first inning. In for strike 1. Martinez now 75 driven in this season. .23 home runs. The majority of those were hit in the first half. Power numbers have dipped a little bit, well, quite a lot actually for Martinez, but the pace he was on was just not sustainable. It's fouled back.
In case you're just joining us, he got one of those split change-ups that stayed up in the strike zone. He hit one right down the first baseline past Loney. Miguel able to come all the way around from first and score.
No balls, 2 strikes on Victor Martinez. Leadoff man on here in the 4th. Driven to right field. And it's going to be caught on the run by Kiermaier. He's going to throw back in the bag, then Miggy back in. 1 out. Time for a game break now. We check in with Mickey York. Oh, that is not good. Thanks, Mick.
That is so unfortunate for the Angels. He was their best pitcher.
He is their ace. And Tyler Skaggs, of course, had Tommy John recently. So, boy, there's a high pop-up, shallow center field. Desmond Jennings coming in. And that is the second out. So Odorizzi, after the leadoff error, has been able to come back with a couple of fly ball outs. Here's Castellanos. It's funny how in this game, Rod, things can look so good one day, and then all of a sudden all it takes is a crippling injury to just kind of change your whole outlook.
No doubt about that.
We'll wait on further word on Garrett Richards, but that is a massive loss for the Angels if he is gone for any amount of time. Castellanos grounded out his first time up on a nice play by Longoria. Strike 1. Tigers got a run in the first, and so far it is held up. Swing and a miss. 0-2 on Nick. He came in 11 for his previous 30 at bats. Nick starting to heat up here as August is winding down. He's been among the league leaders in many different categories, including doubles. He has 25 of those. Here's the 0-2. Wouldn't chase the fastball up. Alex Avila waiting on deck. Popped up. First base side, Loney in foul ground, back toward his own dugout, lost it. It'll drop in harmlessly.
You could kind of tell the way that Loney was going over there to catch that pop-up that he never really saw it. Outstanding defender. We talked about him in last night's game at the top of our show. He is one of your better fielding first basemen in the American League. Rajai Davis lost one yesterday in straightaway center field.
Loney also committed a throwing error in last night's ball game. This one he never had. So Castellanos gets new life. And he lines one right to the shortstop, Escobar. Nothing comes to the leadoff air. We go to the bottom of the fourth. Arby's, we have the meats. And by Bell Tire, get the lowest tire price, period. Bell Tire. Clearwater Beach here in Florida as the sun begins to set. 1-0 in favor of the Tigers. We go to the bottom of the fourth inning here at Tropicana Field. Rick Porcello's been really good tonight. He's retired 8 straight, gave up a double to Ben Zobrist in the first, but that was it. And now Porcello back to work here against Zobrist in the fourth inning. He'll be followed by Joyce and then Longoria. 2, 3, and 4 in the lineup for the Rays. Seven ground ball outs as well for Porcello already in this contest. And Zobrist takes one right at the knee, strike one.
And Rick Porcello has been as efficient with his first pitch strikes as you could be here this evening so far. He is 10 of 11, and that's really allowed him to stay out of the middle of the plate and allowed him to get as many ground balls as he's gotten.
The 0-1 rides inside. 1 ball and 1 strike on Zobrist. There you go, 10 of 11 on first pitch strikes.
And Zobrist with the only hit for Tampa so far this evening, and that was a pretty good pitch that he hit. You got to give him some credit.
That's pulled foul. That's by George Hendrick on the coaching box at first.
Yeah, George wanted no part of it. I can't blame him. funny man.
Oh, my gosh. One of the funniest men in baseball.
He's a funny man.
George Hendrick, part of the Mike Scioscia staff in Anaheim, which also included Joe Madden. There was strike 3 on Zobrist. He's out of there.
Ricky Pete dealing here tonight.
First strikeout.
And a good two-seam fastball front door. And all Zobrist could do was watch it go by.
Matt Joyce. 3 unassisted ground ball, his first at bat. .277 for Joyce. Left center field. And Davis will get over there. 2 outs. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Here is Evan Longoria. Bounced out in the first inning, 0 for 1. Strike 1 on Longoria. Eight-game hitting streak now for Longoria. Their all-time leader in home runs and RBIs. Rolls that one foul.
Take a look at some numbers on Porcello. First time through the lineup, second time through, and the third time through. First time today through the lineup, outstanding for Porcello, so hopefully he can maintain that 194 batting average against him second time through the remainder of this contest.
Yanked foul down the left field line.
When you throw that changeup and you locate it where you just located that one to Longoria, that's exactly what you want the hitter to do. You want him to yank that ball foul. You want an easy strike there. The changeup that's inside, he knows that Longo's going to turn on it. But he knows if he does turn on it because he sees fastball coming out of Porcello's hand, he's going to hit that ball foul.
Boy, Rick continues to be in command of this one. Struck him out looking a 1-2-3 4th, and Ricky P has set down 11 consecutive Rays. He is dealing tonight. Sports Detroit is brought to you by the Sam Bernstein Law Firm, official legal services sponsor of Fox Sports Detroit, and by the new Chevy Silverado light duty and heavy duty lineup. Back here in St. Pete, it is 1-0 in favor of the Tigers as we mosey back into Tropicana Field. And Rick Porcello's been great tonight. Odorizzi, aside from a run in the first inning, has been really good as well. It'll be Avila, Romine, Davis in the Tigers' 5th inning. Alex struck out his first time up. Odorizzi in the ball game struck out a pair in the first, a pair in the second. And Avila looks at a hook that dives low and in. 1-0. Avila last night had 2 more walks, which gives him 47 for the year, and that is good for a third on the Tigers ball club. Dives low and in again, and the count goes 2-0. Shift is on against Avila, playing to pull. They give up the entire third base line. We have seen occasionally Alex will drop down a bunt, or at least attempt to, against this shift. 2-0. He's swinging here and he drives one to right field, but it's going to be caught there by Kiermaier. 1 out in the 5th inning. There's Romine. Romine also a strikeout victim. Was back in the second. And that breaking ball barely breaks a pane of glass. The last one at 68. Odorizzi's on pace for 191 strikeouts this year. And that would establish a Rays rookie record should he get there.
They've had some good rookies pitch here, too.
You know, Kazmir comes to mind.
Right.
And he struck out a lot of guys. 1 ball, 1 strike. Foul straight back. David Price, of course. I mean, the names go on and on, but Shields. He's having himself a fine rookie season. He came in. His strikeouts per 9 was a little bit over 10.
And he's doing it with a fastball that tops out at 92 miles an hour.
And a strike called got him looking. So Romine strikes out for the second time. 5 punch outs now for Jake Odorizzi. Well, since 1900, the strikeouts per 9 among rookies, Odorizzi is on a list that has Kerry Wood, Dwight Gooden, Yu Darvish. Pretty impressive names on that list. Rajay looks at a ball low.
Really the only guy on that list that did not have a mid-90s fastball was Hideo Nomo, who had that real good fork ball.
Davis backs out of there, and it's a ball inside. 2-0. Fly ball to center field his first time up. He's 0 for 1. The 2-0 darts low and away. 3-0 now on Rajay Davis. That's on the outside corner. Rajay would love to get on here. He is 1 stolen base shy of 300 for his career. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Popped up. First base side, Loney. And he's going to get there this time and make the play. Tigers go 1-2-3. Here come the Rays in the bottom of the 5th. Tigers baseball presented by Bell Tire. League. So we just told you a couple of minutes ago in our update that Garrett Richards had to be carried off the field after injuring his knee covering first base. That would be a gargantuan blow for the Angels. Mike Fiers, meanwhile, in 3 starts this season, 3-0 with a 0.86 ERA. He's doing some good stuff for Milwaukee.
Absolutely. Where's Milwaukee getting all this pitching from?
And MLB upholding the protest of last night's rainout in Chicago involving the Giants. That game will resume tomorrow. That was the first upheld protest since '86.
Wow.
It's been a while. Doesn't happen very often. So Porcello goes back to work now, and Rick will face James Loney here in the bottom of the 5th. Loney, Myers, and Escobar against the Tigers right-hander. A little bit outside. Cubs ground crew had some troubles with the tarp. And if you didn't know what was going on there in that San Francisco Cubs game, and so the Cubs protested, or the Giants rather protested.
They waited around 4.5 hours and then called the game.
Well, they will resume it. 2 balls, no strikes on James Loney. Porcello has had 3 straight 1-2-3 innings
and has not fallen behind many hitters this evening.
He's fallen way behind here, 3-0. Couple of strikeouts in the 4th inning. His first 2 of the game. Got a lot of ground ball outs early in the contest. Three and 1 the count. Loney is 0 for 1 with a ground out. Had 3 hits, including a 3-run homer in yesterday's game. Will Myers on deck. 3-1 is lifted foul. 3-2.
Here's that Loney home run in the first inning with 2 outs last night against Scherzer. Good fastball, which was about 3 inches off the plate. Inside, right inside the foul pole, down the right field line.
Driven in the air toward left center field. And J.D. Martinez runs it down. 1 gone at the bottom of the 5th. Well, attention, University of Michigan grads and fans. You can get a ticket to see the Tigers play the Giants September 5th at 7:08, plus a Wolverines in the D t-shirt. Offer available only at tigers.com/Michigan. One out now. Here's Will Myers. Myers grounded out his first time up, and he looks at a strike. Will just off the disabled list, activated today. They sent Belnome down. 226 this year.
And Belnome got his first major league hit last night.
And RBI.
And he was walked intentionally, too.
Swing and a miss.
The 2-seam fastball right there at 89, and that's what the 2-seam fastball is designed to do. You start it right down the middle. The hitter sees it right down the middle, and then the action on the pitch carries it off the plate, but you've already started your swing. Speaking of 2-seam fastballs, Jim Johnson had an outstanding 2-seam fastball last night.
Yeah.
93, 94 with some good sink.
It's a good sign.
It really is a good sign, because if they can get him going and get him to resemble what he had done the last couple of years for the Baltimore Orioles, where he saved over 100 games, it'll really help out the Tigers bullpen the remainder of the season.
Now the 0-2. Oh, he took it looking. Strike 3.
It's the 3rd strikeout that Porcello has gotten in the last 2 innings. All 3 of them looking. He struck out Zobrist, he got Longoria, and now he has gotten Will Myers.
I think Will thought it was a little bit high.
He might have.
Thought the upper reaches of the strike zone. So with 2 outs, here is Yunel Escobar.
As a hitter, you really don't look for fastballs up in the zone from Porcello anyway. Even if you see it up there, you still think it's a two-seamer that's going to come down in the strike zone.
1 ball, no strikes to Escobar. .253 this year for Escobar, who missed some time with a bad shoulder. Grounds that one foul, and the count evens now at 1-1. Escobar, former Atlanta Brave, Toronto Blue Jay. Talented infielder. His errors are way up this year, though. He's committed 12 this season, made 7 all of last year. And he's played in far fewer games at this point this year because of the injury. Tried to hold up. In fact, he dropped the bat to try and fool Phil Cuzzy, who wasn't buying.
He sure did. Tried to steal one.
1-2.
You don't see this very often. The guy clearly swings, but he drops the bat to try to pretend like he didn't swing.
You don't see that ever, actually. Because he's like, I ain't buying that.
No.
Are you kidding me? Here's the 1-2. The chopper foul. Porcello only at 57 pitches right now. Rick ready with the 1-2. Foul tip, just got a piece of it, staying alive, and in and out of the glove of Porcello, or of Avila. 1-2 the count. Waiting on deck, Casale the catcher. Only 1 hit allowed by Porcello, a double by Ben Zobrist, one that he flicked down the left field line back in the first, but he could not score. Thought about it. 2-2. 1 run on 2 hits for the Tigers. They got a run in the first on a 2-out single by Cabrera. Martinez doubled him in, and that's it so far. They got him looking. Strike 3. Escobar is out of there. 4 strikeouts for Rick, who has retired 14 consecutive Rays. 5 in the books at Tropicana Field.
American Bank game summary. Miguel Cabrera got an infield single, then Victor Martinez followed with a double. Diving was Loney at first base. It got down in the right field corner. Mickey was able to scamper all the way around from first, and then Porcello, man, has he been getting busy here tonight. He is 13 of 16 in first pitch strikes. He's already thrown 7 ground balls in this contest, and he has 4 strikeouts. And get this, all 4 of the strikeouts, Tampa Bay Rays hitters looking at them go by.
Rick looking as good as he has all season long, but the Tigers only have supported him with 1 run so far. Jake Odorizzi has been really good as well. So it'll be Ian Kinsler as we go to the 6th inning. Kinsler, Hunter Cabrera, the top 3 facing the young Rays right-hander. Ian a strikeout and a flyout. Swings on the first pitch and sends it in the air to center field. Desmond Jennings is there, 1 gone. Let's check back in with John Keating.
Mario, as you know, on September 1st, the rosters can be expanded. Brad Austin is saying today he didn't expect a huge influx of kids or mud hens to make their way north to the major league roster. He just doesn't like to clog up a clubhouse in that regard. Maybe a third catcher. You would think James McCann would come up, maybe an arm or 2 from the minors, but he believes, like Jim Leland believes, that an expanded roster during a pennant race might not be in the best interests of baseball.
Well, I guess the direct quote from Brad was he doesn't want to turn the clubhouse into a sardine can. So that's one way of putting it.
With strangers, yeah.
Exactly. So, and that's something Jim Leland always said. He said, you know, we kind of play with 2 sets of rules. One for the first, 3, 4 months, 5 months of the year, and then all of a sudden September rolls around, and now we've got all these extra players. Here's the 1-1 to Torrey. Breaking ball is fouled away.
Which makes it difficult for teams that are in playoff contention because the opposing managers are matching up in their bullpens. They've got, instead of having 7 people in the bullpen, all of a sudden they have 11 and 12 members down in their bullpen, and they can just match up to every single hitter. So it's kind of unfair if you're a team that's out of it and then you're going up against a contender.
Well, Brad also went on to say, he said, well, you know, a couple of extra bodies would have come in handy in Toronto, though, in that 19-inning game. But those happened very infrequently. So we'll see what the Tigers are deciding here as we march towards September.
Brad Ausmus has someone has nominated him for the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, so he's got about 24 hours to respond.
That is popped up. First base line, long run, and a catch made by Loney on the area around the bullpen.
It is so difficult when pop-ups go up. If you take your eye off the ball, even Loney's lost one here today, and you'll see all the infielders and outfielders, when balls go up, they just never, ever take their eye off of it. And it becomes a problem when you're in the outfield and you have the center fielder and the left fielder or right fielder converging on a play, and either guy can make that play. You don't see the other guy coming because you're always looking up.
So here is Cabrera with 2 outs. Odorizzi on a nice little stretch of his own. He's retired 8 consecutive Tigers.
Most of his outs today have been in the air. Very few fly balls, but he works up in the strike zone. Porcello works at the bottom of the strike zone. With contrasting styles, both guys throw about 92 miles an hour.
That time Cabrera was out in front, 0-2.
One guy with a good 2-seamer, the other guy with a good 4-seam fastball upstairs.
Here's the out distribution. 10 flyouts, 5 strikeouts.
Porcello's is pretty much the opposite of that.
That one never made it to the plate. It bounced well in front of home plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Cabrera. Victor Martinez waiting on deck. And the 1-2. Grounded foul. Cabrera had that 2-out single in the first inning on a ball that just barely got through the infield, and that set up Martinez's double. Miggy looks at a ball outside. 2-2 on Miguel Cabrera. He's hit 17 home runs this year, 14 of which came in the first half. high, and now it's gone full 3-2.
And Miggy has been seeing the ball pretty good today against Odorizzi. And it really hasn't left the strike zone. And Jake continues to try to get Miggy to chase. Miggy hasn't chased as of yet.
And he lays off that one. That ball 4. Why is Miggy pointing at first base?
I mean, he didn't even come close to swinging.
Oh, yeah. Take your base, Miggy. It's ball 4.
Not even close to swinging. But then he's ball 4, but he's going to ask for an appeal. Get some help.
Just run the first before they change their mind. Here's Victor Martinez. So that'll stop the string of 8 straight retired by Odorizzi. Now Victor, who doubled and run in the first inning, and that right now remains the only run of the game. Way high, 1-0 on Martinez.
Odorizzi here, you have to be very careful pitching to Victor Martinez, and I think that's what the catcher is going to go out and talk to him about. You've got a couple of open bases. J.D. Martinez has already done some damage in the series with a home run yesterday, but he's not Victor Martinez. Victor's already hit a double against you and driven in the only run. You'd hate to get beat by Victor once again when you have a couple of places to put him.
The RBI that Victor got in the first inning was his 75th. It would be nice for the Tigers to tack on a few. Rick Porcello has been outstanding. He has surrendered just 1 hit so far in this game. And the 1-0. High, 2-0. Odorizzi right now at 87 total pitches. He threw quite a few in that first inning after getting a couple of quick strikeouts, but it was a long half inning for him.
Threw 29 in the first inning.
Here's the 2-0. 3-0. J.D. Martinez waiting on deck. Jim Hickey, Ray's pitching coach.
Looking at the scouting report on J.D. Martinez, making sure that if they do walk Victor Martinez, Odorizzi is able to execute his pitches against J.D.
Is in there as strike 3-1. Odorizzi was rated the Rays' #1 prospect heading into this season. Originally drafted by Milwaukee, traded to the Royals in the Zach Greinke deal, and then over to the Rays. Here's the 3-1. And that is high, ball 4, back-to-back 2-out walks. And here comes Jim Hickey.
Well, you just saw Jim Hickey looking at the scouting report, and he wants to make sure that they know exactly what's going on. J.D. Martinez homered last night. He got himself a hanging breaking ball and hit it out of the ballpark to left field. Excuse me, straightaway center field. I'm sorry about that, J.D. Over the 404 sign against Joel Peralta.
Yeah, mere mortals hit him to left. J.D. hits him out to center.
He's hit 17 home runs this year with the Tigers. 11 of the 17 have come 7th inning or later, and 8 of the 17 have come 8th inning or later. So he's been getting some big hits late for the Tigers.
Here is another chance to get a big hit. The Tigers have 2 on, 2 out.
Joe Madden basically pitched around Miggy and Victor Martinez, kind of picking the spots here for Odorizzi with 2 outs.
Total of 90 now for Odorizzi. Things are in pretty good shape following that 29 pitch first. Martinez takes way high.
Tigers really have not had a difficult time of laying off that fastball up today that Odorizzi's thrown. They knew that they were going to get it.
Fouled away. 1 ball, 1 strike. I guess knowing you're going to get it and being able to hold away and hold off of it are two different things.
That's right. He's racked up a lot of strikeouts. We already talked about that. The fact that his strikeouts per 9 is up there as far as with some of the best rookies we've seen in the last 30 years.
Line drive, right field. Kiermaier coming on, base hit. Cabrera rounding third, and they're going to hold him there as Kiermaier fires a BB to home plate. So the Tigers now will have him loaded.
We're going to make it our Bell Tire pitch by pitch. JD lays off the first pitch fastball upstairs, and he swings over a changeup down and in, and then he goes outside with a fastball. JD Martinez was all over that. Kiermaier very fast in the outfield, gets to the ball in a hurry, and therefore Dave Clark, third base coach, forced to holding up Miggy.
So they're loaded up now with 2 outs, and here's Nick Castellanos. Hit the ball hard his last time up and lined out. There's a bouncing ball hit back toward the right side of the infield, crossing over the bag. Zobrist to make a nice play. And so the Tigers threaten but leave him loaded.
Playing over on the other side of the bag, wide open at second base. Looked like he tried to hit the ball in that direction. Obviously the pitch is located down and away, so that's where you want to hit it, but he hit it right off the end of the bat. You see Zobrist, he was playing right over the bag, right behind the second base bag, but able to recover to make a play against Castellanos.
Do you recall if any other teams have played that type of shift against Nick?
Not against Nick, but even more importantly, Mario, with runners in scoring position, why would you open up the infield like that?
That's a good point. I didn't even think of that angle. And almost got through, but Zobrist made a nice play.
And one of the things that we have talked about Nick, I mean the entire season, was his ability to go the other way.
Kurt Casale will lead things off. He's followed by Kiermaier and then Jennings. Swing and a miss. Porcello now is retired 14 straight.
He's pitching like an ace today.
4 consecutive 1-2-3 innings. Casale lined out his first time up. Here's the 1-1. 1-2 on the former Tigers farmhand, Kurt Casale. Tigers gave him up in March of 2013 in the Kyle Lobstein deal. Now the 1-2. Low 2-2. He's been able to get some reps. They had to put Ryan Hannigan on the disabled list. one of several guys that have gone on the DL, key players for them. Here's the 2-2. Bouncing ball slowly back up the middle. Romine on the charge. Fortunately has the catcher running, and that's out number 1. And we go back to the studio for a game break in Mickey York. All right, Mick, thanks. Here's what the wild card is looking like. The Athletics in that top wild card spot now. The Tigers, Seattle, of course, battling it out as well right now for the 2 spot. But that Central Division title still very much up for grabs for the Tigers. Kevin Kiermaier stands in. Kiermaier is 0 for 1. Retired on a nifty play by Cabrera, and Porcello covering at first base on a ground ball. That was back in the 3rd inning. 1 run on 3 hits for the Tigers. No runs, 1 hit for the Rays. It sinks low. 2 balls, 1 strike. Kiermaier trying to get something started. They have had just 1 base runner tonight against Rick. The Zobrist double in the 1st. Here's the 2-1. Popped up. Short left field. Romine is back. He'll handle it. 2 gone. Hey, Saturday, MLB on Fox Sports 1 returns. Doubleheader is Buster Posey and the Giants take on the Nationals. Then Freddie Freeman and the Braves square off against the Reds. Coverage begins at 3:30 Eastern on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Two up, 2 down. Here is Desmond Jennings. Breaking ball bounces away from Jennings. He's popped up and grounded out. The 1-0 is in for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Kirby Yates is again throwing in the Rays bullpen. He was actually pitched in the game last night. They used McGee for what, 2 innings last night?
They did.
So he's probably not available today. Chopper off the glove, redirected toward Kinsler, and that's going to help. They throw him out. It is a 1-4-3. 17 straight retired by Rick Porcello. Another ground ball out. That one pinballs back to Kinsler.
a look at the Jimmy John's freaky fast delivery of the game. Rick Porcello's been first pitch strikes nearly on every Rays hitter this evening. Therefore, he's been able to expand the strike zone. He stayed out of the middle of the plate. He's already thrown 9 ground balls. He has 4 strikeouts, 5 fly balls in the game. And more importantly, he just looks like he's way on top of his game tonight.
Yeah, to be sure, he's retired 17 consecutive Rays hitters.
He gave up 6 runs his last outing against the Seattle Mariners on that last homestand. 6 runs, 5 of which were earned.
So we'll see now if the Tigers can build on their lead as you look at the comparison between the two.
They're dealing.
Odorizzi also pitching a fine ball game, 5 strikeouts. He will face Avila here. And it's in there, strike 1 on Alex. Romine and then Davis to follow. Strikeout flyout tonight for Avila. Here's the 0-1. Little high on Avila. 2 balls, 1 strike. Tigers loaded the bases back in the 6th, but Castellanos bounced out. That ended the threat. The only Tiger run tonight scoring in the 1st. Playing to pull against Avila. As they have this entire series, that is in there for a strike. 2-2 count. Odorizzi back in his high school days also was a star football player, star basketball player. The 2-2 did not go. Greg Gibson down at third base, said he held up.
Was it quarterback?
I believe he was a receiver.
He's got the body type for either one. Definitely got the arm to be a quarterback, but he's got that height that he could be a nice receiver as well.
3-2 looked like Avila clearly went there, but they'll take it. Here's the 3-2. Swing and a miss. 1 gone here in the 7th.
And fastball just a tick above the belt buckle at 90 miles an hour, swung right through by Alex.
He's going to bring up Romine. He's thrown a total of 100 now, has Odorizzi.
Maybe Romine will possibly attempt to bunt. He's already struck out a couple times today, both strikeouts looking.
Ball 1. We've often talked about how playing other sports, Rod, can really help you in terms of baseball as well. Odorizzi said the one thing football told him is to, or taught him rather, was to be centered and balanced. And he said you need both of those when you pitch.
And tough.
You can always use that as well.
No doubt. There are a lot of guys that played some high school football. Some guys played a little bit of college football, but not many guys play college football and play professional baseball. But, man, if you can play a couple different sports and motor skills from basketball, even soccer when kids are young, those skills from, running on the balls of your feet, other sports are very good for you.
Romine waiting on a 2-1. 2-2 now on Romine.
It's so competitive in baseball these days, though, that kids are being forced into playing year-round because they're playing a travel ball on a couple different teams, and their coaches really don't let them play the other sports.
No, and that's true, and it's difficult to carve out time because the sports will overlap, especially in the summertime when you get early into the fall and those travel teams as well. Coaches, they just want to see you play that one sport, their sport.
Yes, indeed.
Davis waiting on deck. Here's the 2-2. High, 3-2. Tigers got a run in the first inning of this game, and it is held up to this point.
Odorizzi will not be in the game much longer.
He just got Romine for the 3rd time via the strikeout. That is his 7th.
And he's thrown 107 pitches. For someone that just learned that pitch at the beginning of the year, he's throwing it a lot. I mean, there's another one.
It's pretty good, too.
He learned it from, I told you earlier, if you weren't with us, Alex Cobb will pitch tomorrow. He throws the same pitch. He taught it to Odorizzi in spring training. And for so many guys, I mean, the changeup sometimes is a pitch that just some power pitchers can't develop. So for him to develop this is basically his changeup.
Fly ball in the air, hit well toward left field. Down the move is Joyce, still going back, not going to get it. Up against the wall and on to second, and holding there with a double is Rajai Davis. 2-out, 2-base hit. That ball nearly carried out. And that was pitch number 110 for Odorizzi.
And Rajai Davis got one of those fastballs up and got on top of it, hit it over the head of Joyce in left field. By the time Joyce got there, he picked it off the wall with one hand to keep Rajai Davis at second base. Saw Rajai walking around the clubhouse today. He's got that left hand heavily wrapped, the one that got tucked underneath his body when he was stealing second base at Comerica Park just a few days ago against the Seattle Mariners. So that left hand still giving him some issues. Didn't hurt him there, though.
Here is Kinsler. And Ian looks at a strike. Big run standing at second base right now. The season high for Odorizzi in terms of pitches thrown. 113, so he's too shy of that. And this likely his final batter of the game here, trying to get Kinsler. Porcello, meanwhile, has just been absolutely dominant in this game. Here's the 0-1. Soft line drive to left field. That's going to drop base hit and score a run. Rajai Davis comes around to score. It's a 2-out RBI single for Kinsler. 2-0 Detroit. And Joe Madden will take his young right-hander out of the game. So Odorizzi gives up the baseball. Rick Porcello has another run to work with. It is a Wellside Windows pitching change. The Rays go to the pen, and we'll be back.
And Kinsler with 2 outs Got a changeup up in the strike zone. Got jammed on it, but he fought it off. The ball landed in left field, and Rajai Davis on second base able to score without a play with his speed. So nice job by the Tigers table setters, Davis and Ian Kinsler, and Rick Porcello. Nice high five for Rajai as he got to the dugout.
So Kinsler gets his 66th RBI, and it's a big one in this game. The Tigers up 2 now, and they score their first run since the first inning. Numbers on Odorizzi, 6 2/3, still responsible for the runner at first base. And the new pitcher now is Kirby Yates.
Yates, pretty good year. In 25th game now, he's pitched in 7 straight scoreless innings, 29 strikeouts, in a 2.16 ERA for Yates.
Swing and a miss, 0-1 on Torrey. Hunter is 0 for 3. Two runs on 5 hits now for the Tigers. No runs, 1 hit for Tampa Bay. Yates appeared in the ball game last night out of the Rays bullpen.
11 innings last night for the Tigers and the Rays, and the Tigers used every single position player, and the Rays used every single one of their position players as well, and a lot of pitching too.
Yeah, the Rays last night went through a ton of guys. Boxberger, Yates, Peralta, Balfour pitched. McGee, 2 innings out of McGee. Beliveau pitched. Kinsler back in there. 12 steals this year for Kinsler. Odorizzi just did not receive any offensive support in this ball game tonight. And they're still thinking about probably that 2-run single he allowed to Ian Kinsler. It's low and away, and the count goes 2-1 now on Torrey Hunter. Should Hunter reach, then you got Cabrera and Martinez, the middle of the Tigers lineup lurking. There's a base hit to right field. Kinsler goes to second and stops there, so Hunter is able to keep the inning going for Cabrera.
I don't know what it is with Torrey when he bats in that number 2 slot, but he seems to change just a little bit. He's not as aggressive. He takes what the pitcher gives him, and in this instance, he simply drives the ball the opposite way. And you saw Omar Vizquel there, kind of motioning with his hands the swing that Torrey took, which was an outstanding swing.
Anything to get this guy to the plate. Torrey has accomplished his part. Now Cabrera on base 3 times in this game. And Miggy looks at a strike, 0-1.
Well, they've had a couple of bloops in this inning. Now all they need is a blast.
Odorizzi hoping that the bullpen can hold him here. 2-0 in favor of Detroit. That'll get away from the catcher. And moving to third base, standing up is Kinsler. First and third now on a wild pitch.
You saw Torrey Hunter kind of indecisive there as to whether he could go to second on that wild pitch there by Yates. Kinsler took off at third, but Hunter took a peek to second to see whether Kinsler was going to go or not. But then it was too late for him to go.
High, ball 2.
Or do you think Torrey Hunter is that smart to stay put at first base, knowing if he would have left, they might have walked Miggy as they did twice yesterday?
Well, that would seem to make sense. Could be. But I would think your instincts take over there, and the first thing on your mind is to move up.
Just trying to make Torrey sound smart, look smart.
2-1 the count, and it's inside 3-1. Porcello's thinking, get me a few more here, boys. Although so far he really hasn't needed it. He's retired 17 consecutive Rays. Victor Martinez on deck. Yates ready with the 3-1. Outside, he walked him. That will load the bases.
They want nothing to do with Miguel Cabrera. Even though Torrey Hunter didn't vacate first base, second base was still open, and they really just do not want to mess with Miguel Cabrera, despite Victor and how well he does behind Mickey.
So Jim Hickey comes out, and they're going to chat about how to pitch to Victor Martinez. As they talk about that, we'll tell you this. You can join us again tomorrow. The Tigers wrap up their series with the Rays. We'll be on the air at noon when Tigers Live. Tigers and Rays tomorrow at noon right here on Fox Sports Detroit. David Price comes back here to St. Pete to pitch against the Rays. It'll be a fun one to watch tomorrow. So here's Martinez. Career with the bases loaded, 331. Boy, this inning started with Odorizzi striking out the first 2 batters he faced. And then Davis got it going with a double. 4 straight Tigers have reached now. Strike 1 on Victor. 2 out, 2 base hit in the first inning, knocked home Cabrera. And up until this inning, the only run the Tigers had. And Victor's also walked in this game. He can really bust it open here with a base hit. One ball, one strike. Yates is kind of methodical, isn't he?
And Chris Archer, who pitched in last night's game, just continues to chop it up over there with him, but he hadn't said one word back to Chris until now.
1-1. Swing and a miss. 1-2 now on Victor.
That's a nice backdoor breaking ball there thrown by Yates. He started it off the plate. Victor didn't give up on it because he had an idea that Yates would try to throw that pitch. So he stayed with it and he swung at it even though he swung right through it.
Runner is in scoring position with 2 outs. Victor 325.
He's done major damage in these situations since he put on a Tigers uniform 3 years ago. That 2011 season was ridiculous for Victor in a lot of clutch situations.
Fouled away. So we'll do it again. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Should Victor reach, J.D. Martinez waiting on deck. Pretty good two-strike hitter as well. Swinging and drive in a deep right field, way back, track wall. That is a grand slam.
He gets locked in like nobody's business after they walk Miguel Cabrera.
Number 24 for Martinez has blown this game wide open. 6-0 Tigers.
Fourth career grand slam for Victor.
Big hit.
You could just see him in the on-deck circle when they were pitching around Miggy that he was going to put in a quality at-bat, and boy, did he do just that. Here's the pitch sequence against Yates. Lots of breaking balls, starting it off the plate, trying to catch that pitch for a strike. Victor swung right through one. Then Yates tried to go back inside with another fastball, and Victor simply was sitting there waiting on him and turned on it. He hit that about 10 rows up in right field, too.
Just about all the way up. The stands out there in right field. What a key blast for the Tigers. 6-0.
And a great start for Odorizzi. Turns into 4 earnings.
So here is J.D. Martinez. Checked it, and he fouled it off. Martinez goes deep with a grand slam to right.
Even though Miguel Cabrera is not quite Miggy, Joe Madden continues to give him that special treatment, and every step of the way, Victor's just sitting there licking his chops.
He's got himself a 5 RBI day. There's a strike called, and Martinez is caught looking to end the inning. But Victor with a huge hit, Kinsler with a huge hit. Porcello has a nice lead to work with. And coming up, the Health Plus 7th inning stretch.
For the Tigers in the 7th inning against Jake Odorizzi, their starter. 2 outs, he doubled, and then it led to the Victor Martinez big boy, big play of the game. His 4th career grand slam.
And that look says it all right there in the face of Chris Archer and Odorizzi. So the Tigers now have 6 runs on 7 hits. Tampa no runs, 1 hit, and Rick Porcello has a comfy lead to work with now as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Ben Zobrist is leading it off. Zobrist, Joyce, and Longoria. That's inside and low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Zobrist had a double in the first inning with 1 out, and that remains their only hit. Skies this one in the air to center. That's going to be playable for Rajai Davis. And Zobrist is out, 1 gone. This is some kind of roll that Porcello is on right now.
The adjustment that he made from last start to this start, remarkable. He said himself that he was rushing with his body, therefore his arm slot was not good. He left everything up in the strike zone against Seattle, gave up 6 runs, 10 hits, but today he's been on point.
Here is Matt Joyce with 1 out. Joyce a swing and a miss, 0-1. Ground out, fly out. Rays can't be too thrilled with the prospect of dropping the first 2 and then having to face David Price tomorrow. That'll be what is facing them in the final game of the series. Here's the 0-1 pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Not that he would be feeling pressure anyway, but if the Tigers are able to hold on and win this one, that will take a little bit of the anxiety away from David Price going up against his former squad tomorrow afternoon.
Low 2-1 now on left-handed batting Matt Joyce.
And the fact that your team has won the first 2 games of the series.
Left-hander Ramos warming up in the bullpen for the Rays. He did not pitch in last night's game. That is popped up foul, headed back to the seats. And out of play. Matt Joyce 0 for 6 in the series. Longoria waiting on deck. Here's the 2-2. Bouncing ball foul. Well, that's exactly where you love to be, in the mid-teens at the top in every inning. That's why Porcello's pitch count has been in great shape all night. Here's the 2-2.
Porcello has thrown a total of 81 pitches, and he's only missed the strike zone with 22 of those. So he's thrown 59 of 81 have been strikes.
And the 2-2. Get back out of play down the left field line. The Rays, after being down 18 below 500, fought to 500, but if they lose this game, they'll drop to 61 and 65. Chopper to the right side of the infield. Porcello will cover, hit the bag for the out, 2 away. Well, as promised earlier in the game, the AT&T fan photo of the game is here. Tweet your photo to hashtag Detroit Fan Photo for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast brought to you by AT&T.
Take one more look at this ground ball to the right side of the infield. Miggy takes a couple of steps to the right, and then he can't get back to the bag. Kinsler alertly locates Porcello on the run to get the out, but you could just tell that Miggy just a little bit uncomfortable out there. But Miggy says he's still going to play every day regardless of what his body feels like.
Longoria, the batter.
Like, I guess you can appreciate that about a guy.
Absolutely. It's been his MO, though, ever since he got to Detroit. I mean, he has played down the stretch for a couple of seasons with some injuries that have been nagging. Here's a high drive to center field. Rajai Davis on the run. Track. Wall. Makes the catch. Another 1-2-3 inning for Rick Porcello. He's retired 20 straight.
Anytime you play on this type of surface, this field turf, it presents problems for the outfielders because the warning track is AstroTurf too. So as soon as your foot hits the warning track, it still feels like you're running on what you've been running on. So therefore, you can't differentiate how many steps you can take before you get to that wall. But real nice concentration by Rajai Davis, putting that right hand out to make sure he didn't run into the wall.
Yeah, the only thing different there is the color of paint.
Right, right. And a lot of times outfielders, I mean, you rely on running from grass, which is soft, and then you get to the warning track, which is the dirt. You know how many steps you have before you crash into the wall, but you really can't do that here.
So the Tigers on top of this one, 6-0 as we go to the 8th inning. Nick Castellanos will lead it off. It'll be Castellanos, Avila, and Romine. Big grand slam in this game by Victor Martinez, highlighting a 6-0 lead. Swing and a miss, and a big rip there by Castellanos. Got a wall-side windows pitching change here. Cesar Ramos is the new pitcher.
As ERA just a shade under 4. He does have 51 strikeouts in 35 games he's been in. 32 walks, though, for Ramos.
Bouncing ball to short. Escobar scoops it up there, and Castellanos is out. One away here in the 8th. It's going to bring up Alex Avila. Tigers, like the Rays, really didn't have a whole lot going on offensively in this game until they broke loose in the 7th inning, and the box score looks like this. Victor 2 for 3 with the grand slam and an RBI double. He's had the biggest night tonight. Avila looks at a ball low just below the knees. 1-0. Strikeout, flyout, strikeout tonight for Avila. 0 for 3. Fouled off. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, they still played the shift on Avila with the left-hander Ramos on the mound, but not to the extent that they had earlier today with the right-hander. And Zobrist, the second baseman, he would be all the way out into right field, and Yunel Escobar, the shortstop, would be on the other side of second base. But against the lefty, not so much.
It's in the air down the third base line. Longoria gets there. Longoria right up against the railing for the out. 2 gone. Became a tricky play at the end. Hey, the New York Yankees coming to Comerica Park August 26th through the 28th to face the Tigers. Don't miss Derek Jeter's final regular season games in Detroit. If you'd like tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or visit tigers.com. Here is Romine with 2 outs. He'll turn around bat right-handed against the lefty. 0-1 on Romine.
Let's take one more look at the Longoria catch off the bat of Avila. He gets over there, takes one peek, and then he put both hands up like he didn't see the baseball.
He must have lost it momentarily.
He did take his eye off of it for a second.
Oh, 0-1 on Romine. That floats it for a strike. 0-2. Ramos missed high. 1 ball, 2 strikes. He was the only Rays reliever not to pitch in last night's ball game.
Tigers had a couple of relievers that didn't pitch as well. Kroll and Koch.
Here's the 1-2. Did he go? No, he did not. They finally got the appeal down there at Will Little, who said he held up.
Every single member of the Rays defense was headed off the field. Oh my goodness.
And that's why.
Boy, did Romine catch a break there. About time the Tigers caught a few breaks, though.
Here's a 2-2. Didn't matter. Struck him out swinging. 1-2-3 inning for Cesar Ramos. Here comes Rick Porcello in the 8th.
Hear from later tonight. You want to hear from Mario and Rod? You want to hear from Mickey York and Craig Monroe in the Call Sam Studios? I'm going to guess you probably want to hear from Rick Porcello and Victor Martinez, who had his 4th career Grand Slam tonight. Hopefully it's in a matter of moments. Tigers in charge thanks to Porcello and V-Mart so far this evening. Mario and Rod, up to you.
All right, John, thanks. Well, here is Porcello back to the hill, and here are his numbers. 4 strikeouts, no walks. And more impressively, just one hit, 85 pitches to get through 7 innings. He'll go to work here in the 8th. And it'll be James Loney to lead things off. And it's a ball low, 1-0. Loney and then Myers and then Escobar in the home half of the 8th inning. 6-0 Detroit. Rick with the 1-0 pitch. Fouled away, 1 ball, 1 strike. Be hard pressed to find a better start this year from Rick Porcello.
He's had a lot of good ones, but this one will stick out.
That one missed. Porcello had that 3-hit shutout, the complete game at Texas back in June on the 26th, which is really impressive in that ballpark. This has been a cut above. Drilled to center field. That's going to be just their 2nd hit of the game. And he had retired 20 in a row. Check out our game summary in this one here tonight. Martinez, well, he's been the big bat. He hit a grand slam. He has an RBI double. Rick Porcello, he has been the big story here tonight. And Zobrist was the only Ray with a hit that doubled in the 1st inning until the single here by Loney. Will Myers the batter. Swinging in the 1st pitch, he popped it up right at home plate. Who wants it? Cabrera with a basket catch. That's an easy out. 1 gone.
Here's our high-speed pitch, and it's brought to you by Xfinity. And Porcello has gotten to 92 a few times here tonight against the Rays. Hadn't gotten above 92. 69 on a breaking ball. That's been the lowest speed registered.
That'll bring up Yunel Escobar. Strikeout, ground out in this game for Escobar. Bouncer right back to the mound. Porcello to second. There's one. Nice play by Romine, and the tag missed.
That was not executed and very good. Porcello, first of all, made a poor throw to Romine, which Romine had to adjust his feet, and then he had a bad throw across the diamond. Nearly the 27th, the double play turned behind Porcello this year, which ranks 2nd in the majors. Nice footwork by Romine, but it caused him to drop his arm angle. Miggy also made a nice play, but not able to apply the tag to Yunel Escobar.
Dallas Keuchel has had 27 double plays turned behind him. He leads the majors, and then Porcello right behind him.
Yeah, that would have tied him.
Not meant to be as Kurt Casale steps in. Swing and a miss. Line out, ground out for the Rays catcher.
On a night where you had to play 11 innings, and if you're Brett Ausmus, you had to dip into your bullpen, and quite often it's refreshing to see someone go out and do what Porcello's done.
Romine will get the force at second. And so, despite the single, another really good inning for Rick. We go to the 9th. Here as we indeed go to the top of the ninth inning. Porcello has been a big story here tonight. Detroit, of course, trailing KC by 2 in the Central. And they are in search of their second straight win against the Rays here tonight. Rick Porcello, how about these numbers?
Outstanding. No walks, 4 strikeouts, only 2 hits.
93 pitches for Porcello. Rajai Davis leads it off as we go to the top of the ninth. It was Davis that got it started in the big 7th inning in which the Tigers scored 5 times. Rajai had a double with 2 outs, nobody on. .289 batting average. Here's the 1-0. Davis swings and misses. 1 ball, 1 strike. Kinsler to follow, and then Torrey Hunter facing the left-hander. Way outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Ramos came on in the 8th inning, got the Tigers 1-2-3. Here's the 2-1. Ripped to center field on a line, but it's going to be caught by Desmond Jennings. A hard hit ball there by Rajai. 1 out here in the ninth. 4 straight retired by Ramos. Here's Kinsler. He had a single to drive in a run in the 7th. '66th RBI of the year. Bouncing ball toward third, foul ball just outside of the bag. Tigers have 1 more here tomorrow to wrap up the series. Then it's on to Minneapolis. They'll be playing a doubleheader on Saturday. And that has been turned into a 4-game series. Here's the 0-1. Strike called. 0-2 on Kinsler. Rays in the bottom of the ninth will have Kiermaier, Jennings, Zobrist due up 9-1-2. Foul ball back up the middle. They had the shift on. It looks like it's going to work. 2 gone. Zobrist able to make the play. That'll bring up Torrey. Single to keep it going in the 7th. One of the hits that set up the grand slam for Victor Martinez. Popped up. First base side, foul ground. Loney handles it, and a 1-2-3 inning for Ramos. So Rick Porcello coming out in the bottom of the ninth.
Tampa Bay Rays. He has given up only 2 hits in the game, 12 ground ball outs, only 4 strikeouts, but really the story's been the fact that he's been first pitch strikes on nearly every Tampa Bay Ray hitter. And Porcello is looking to pitch his 3rd complete game shutout this season. Porcello has been on fire here tonight.
Pretty amazing. He's 3 outs away from getting that 3rd complete game shutout. 12 ground ball outs in this one for Porcello. He's got 3 outs to get, though. Don Kelly will enter the ballgame, play first base.
He's only thrown 93 pitches so far.
Kiermaier leads it off and looks at ball 1 high. Jennings and then Zobrist to follow. Drilled toward left field. J.D. Martinez on the run. He'll get there right at the warning track.
Look out, J.D.
Kiermaier is 0 for 3. 1 gone.
He nearly overran it. And he got there, then had to back up on it, but able to reach up and make the grab.
Here's Desmond Jennings. Jennings is 0 for 3, 0 for 9 in the series. Ball 1. That's in there, a strike. 1-1 on Jennings. Porcello at one time retired 20 straight in this game before giving up a single to Loney in the 8th, but no damage was done. And there's a soft liner to right field, base hit. And Jennings aboard with a 1-out single, his first hit of the series. Action in the Tigers' pen, Cope and Albuquerque. Six-0 Tigers lead here in the 9th. Strike called on Ben Zobrist. Double and 3 at bats in this game. Zobrist got a hit in the first inning, and then the Rays did not get another one until the 8th. The 0-1 pitch. Driven down the right field line. It is hooking foul. So Rick now wants to head 0-2 as he has reached the 100 plateau. 17, the most he has thrown in any inning tonight. High fly ball. Shallow right field. Torrey Hunter coming in. He's under it for the out. 2 gone. One more out to get for Porcello. Going to bring up Matt Joyce. It is 2 other complete game shutouts. Porcello gave up 3 hits to Texas and 4 to Oakland. He has given up just a total of 3 tonight. Runner breaking to second with no throw. He'll go in there standing up. They will not give Jennings a steal there. Defensive indifference.
We've talked about Porcello tonight, and rightfully so. The game that he has pitched, but Avila, he has put down a lot of the right fingers. Porcello very seldom has shaken Avila off. So another outstanding game caught by the Tigers starting catcher.
Strike, it's in there to run the count 1-1.
A lot of times the catchers get lost in the shuffle when the pitcher is actually the one that's out there executing the pitches.
Joyce sold for 3 tonight. Popped it up.
Got it.
Should do it. Don Kelly is under it, and Rick Porcello has his 3rd complete game shutout of the year.
This one was really impressive due to the fact that the Tigers had struggled on that recent homestand to come here and take the first 2. Spectacular outing by Ricky P.
The Tigers busted open with a big 5-run 7th, and they roll here tonight 6-0 the final score. As Rick Porcello does it again, another complete game shutout. We'll be back to Tropicana Field.